She is the recognized sword genius beauty of the entire school, but today she was severely injured by her own brother. Just as Lu Ruyan was about to be killed, I stepped in and saved him. And my cold gaze made Lu Songyang break out in a cold sweat. He still advised me not to meddle in the Lu family's affairs. Hearing this, my eyes became even colder. What kind of family would have a brother kill his own sister? It turns out I was once the strongest god of war in the world. I single-handedly destroyed the final boss of the Tower of Annihilation, and successfully saved the world, but due to severe injuries, I eventually perished, and when I opened my eyes again, I found myself 300 years in the future. During the time of my rebirth, I still felt very satisfied. Although my body was weak, I remembered all the memories of my past life. As long as I adapted to this current body, I could live a life of enjoyment as I dreamed. A semi-transparent window appeared before my eyes again, indicating that the Tower of Annihilation will appear in 5 years. Please be prepared to respond. This news made me restless. I wish I had thrown Balcha into the lava back then. Now I have more work to do. Although I am very reluctant, I will still stop the tower's actions this time, and then go back to my idle life. The transparent window quickly changed again. The 5th room on the right, the 3rd basement level of the Valhalla throne. There lie my weapons and memories. This made me very surprised. I can probably guess what the weapons are, but what about the memories? So I came to one of the world's 3 great hunter training institutions, Valhalla, to investigate. Tens of thousands of hunters apply every year, but only a few are successfully admitted, and the students who can graduate with the name Valhalla are no more than 150 people, because from the entrance ceremony, the competition has already begun. The first thing I have to face here is the selection competition. Since the descendants of the 5 great families are all in the same year, the audience is larger than ever before, but with my current strength, I easily entered the top 10, and my opponent this time is the eldest son of the Wu family, Wu Zhuhe. It is said that he is not good at boxing and academics. But even so, he has an extraordinary talent. That is his body, actions that require magic to perform. He can do it without any magic. Just by practicing diligently, he can immediately achieve remarkable results. With this naturally strong body alone, he is considered a genius. When he learned that I had defeated Wu Suyan, he seemed very surprised. But this also gave Wu Zhuhe a plan. If he could defeat me easily, he could definitely become famous. So he assumed a fighting stance, ready to finish me off in the shortest possible time. But facing Wu Shi's provocation, I made a gesture of international friendship. This made the other party's veins bulge. He wished he could unleash his ultimate move right away. And facing the incoming fist, I didn't plan to take it head on. After all, with the strength of this reborn body. But in fighting and combat, one can gain an advantage with just a strong physique. There is no need for martial arts that can support physical talent. Martial arts that don't need to support the body's talent, and seeing through the opponent's observation skills. If these abilities cannot be balanced, you will end up in the current situation. As I unleashed this palm strike, Wu Shi's eyes rolled back and he lost consciousness. So the referee announced my victory. This surprised everyone in the stands. I wonder if Wu Zhuhe accidentally stepped on air, which led to him being instantly killed by my attack. However, his father Wu Zanshan did not think so, because that was not a simple attack at all. If this child Zhuhe didn't value fist techniques, and only wanted to fight relying on his physical talent, the punches thrown by people his age would still be easy. The previous move was clearly an unavoidable straight punch. Even if Shi's fist techniques were more powerful, it would be useless. And that guy is not simple either. He made Wu Zhuhe lose his mind with just one move. He even used magic, which he doesn't usually use. But at that moment, I dodged the attack by tilting my head. This was beyond Wu Shi's expectation. He thought his punch would definitely hit the opponent. As a result, his straight punch caused him to lean forward, and I accurately seized this opening. I successfully finished the opponent within the round. This shows that my dynamic vision and thinking speed are both one step faster than Wu Shi's. The moment Zhuhe charged at me, I had already figured out the attack route. Thinking of my monstrous talent, Wu Zhuhe couldn't help but clench his fist. The only regrettable thing is that there are others who have seen the value of this newcomer. But even so, he still refused to give up, and wanted to bring me into his family. Soon we arrived at the finals of this competition. The opponent I encountered this time was Lu Ruyan of the Lu family. The group of fanatic fans in the stands made me very uncomfortable. They are already in their 30s and 40s, yet they still call children sister. What a shameless act. As the match began, Ruyan reached for the katana at her waist. Just when I thought the opponent would actively attack me, I found that Lu Ruyan hadn't moved at all. This surprised me greatly. I realized that Lu Ruyan was also observing her surroundings. She is a little stronger than the others, but still too naive for me. Saying this, I strode towards her, to see what reaction she would have. He then firmly gripped the katana at his waist. With a crackle of electricity, he drew his sword and charged fiercely at me. This surprised the onlookers. The attribute transformation of the family is simply a genius among geniuses. But his sword-drawing move was easily dodged by me. Because of Lu Ruyan's gaze, all the positions she was about to attack were exposed, allowing me to easily dodge her attack. However, to my surprise, she also blocked my casual strike. But the power of just this punch made Lu Ruyan's whole body tremble. Just as she hadn't recovered from the shock, I reappeared in front of her, and assumed a punching stance. Because I wanted to see if the opponent could block this move. Saying this, I threw a punch fiercely. I am afraid Lu Ruyan had already blocked it with her weapon. But the terrifying force still knocked her unconscious. But Lu Ruyan piqued my curiosity. The sword drawing technique just now looked a bit strange, but it felt familiar. It's just that the posture doesn't seem quite right. But none of that matters. After all, I have already won the competition. After I leave the arena, a large pile of microphones will be thrust in front of me, wanting me to accept an interview. Some people even want me to join their families, promising me the highest treatment if I join. But I am not interested in any of this. I just hope they can get lost. As a result, the next morning, news of me cursing out reporters spread across the forum. Some people were still discussing my heaven-defying talent. This led to the entrance ceremony the next day. People would often steal glances at me, and I was used to it. After all, I was too eye-catching yesterday. As for my purpose for coming here, it's just to find weapons and memories. Nothing else matters. The class assigned this year made the instructor very difficult to handle. Standing at the forefront are not only Lu Suyuan of the Lu Chen family, but also Lu Ruyan of the Lu family, and Wu Shihei standing in the middle. This made the instructor look incredulous. The new students are randomly assigned to classes. How could 3 descendants of the 5 great families be in my class? And there's also the renowned Jin Zhuhe. This luck is simply heaven-defying. I am probably done for this year. He still put on a tough front, saying he was happy to see everyone. I am the homeroom teacher of this class, Jin Lijun. Seeing this, he summoned everyone to another place. This made me feel very strange. I don't know what's going on, but the homeroom teacher didn't explain. He told us to absolutely not reveal our fighting intent, otherwise this situation will occur. Looking at hundreds of goblins in front of me, even Wu Shihei couldn't help but break out in a cold sweat. But as they launched their attack, a shield blocked it. The homeroom teacher then called my name. These monsters. He asked me if I could deal with the monsters in front of me by myself. I couldn't help but smile slightly at his words, saying it's a piece of cake. But in the homeroom teacher's eyes, he thought I was bragging, so he wanted me to try. But I raised an objection. I've never seen a test like this on the first day of school. If I pass, shouldn't there be some reward? Seeing that I was asking for a reward, the homeroom teacher directly said, if you defeat all the monsters, then within the teacher's authority, I will grant you one request. Although it feels a bit insufficient, it's a deal. With that said, I wanted to ask the teacher for a weapon, asking him to lend me the saber behind him first. After all, I can't fight them empty-handed. At least I should have a decent weapon. But the teacher was very dismissive, thinking I couldn't do it even with a weapon. And after I took the iron saber, I calmly walked out of the protective shield. With just the first swing, I instantly dealt with 7 or 8 goblins. The subsequent horizontal slash took care of dozens more. This feeling made me very satisfied. It was the first time I held a weapon in 300 years. A long time ago, because of the existence of monsters, ordinary people couldn't live normally, so I had to use whatever I could find around me as a weapon. But no matter what, the sword is still a relatively easy to use weapon. The movement pattern of monsters like this is very simple. Just a light sidestep can dodge the attack, and judging from the homeroom teacher's attitude, this should be a monster simulated by the system. This operation shocked the teacher. Subconsciously thought it was impossible. The one he lent me was just a worthless iron sword, and he didn't use any magic, nor was it any extremely fast swordsmanship. But he could easily kill monsters. Compared to the speed of killing, the slow attack was more like absorbing the monster. After dealing with all the goblins, I turned to look at the homeroom teacher, indicating that I wanted to go to the Holy Seat chamber. You should keep your promise, right? And by the time the first day's classes were over, it was already 5 in the afternoon. This gave me a headache. I didn't expect school to be so tiring. I need to get what I need as soon as possible. Otherwise I can't stand it. After all, I only teach disciples. I've never been to school. However, although the courses were boring, I still got some useful information, especially about the Holy Seat. This is also because in the era I lived in, there were no divine seats at all. From the information obtained now, a seat is the existence of those who have achieved great deeds and transformed into gods. Most holy seats will sign contracts with hunters, using them as holy relics, granting them special powers. Located in the Empire's Valhalla, the Academy ranked 3rd in the world for the number of Holy Seat holy relics. Besides these, my swordsmanship and methods of dealing with monsters are almost nothing. As for today's goal, not to return to the dormitory to formally practice martial arts. After all, this body is too trash. And at this moment, someone called my name from behind. When I looked back, I found that the person who came was Lu Ruyan from Banli. So I asked her what she wanted, but unexpectedly Lu Ruyan begged me to teach her swordsmanship. This made me feel very strange. I don't know why she made such a request. Your swordsmanship used this morning is very strong, so I want to learn. But I directly refused her, and told her not to bother me again. After saying this, I walked straight to the dormitory. Meanwhile, in the teacher's lounge, Jun was telling the director of education about what happened today. Even now, he still felt incredulous, because from a common sense perspective, this doesn't make sense. This also made him feel a sense of strangeness. A student who has never seen a monster has killed all 120 goblins. This sentence was not spoken by his own student. He would never believe it. The information he browsed showed nothing special. That is no background, and that guy is an orphan. He said he grew up in a well-known orphanage in a high-risk area. But this made Jin Lijun suspicious, thinking that the personal information was forged. I also considered this situation, and conducted an investigation alone. But it was not forged. If he really wanted to enter Valhalla by forging his identity, the main topic, a topic of concern. What's interesting is why Jin Zhuhe entered the Holy Seat Chamber. Even though the first semester had passed, he could have naturally entered the Holy Seat Chamber. Yet he chose to exchange a condition for early entry. But don't worry, if I ask the chairman, he should allow Jin Zhuhe to enter the Holy Seat Chamber. You don't need to thank me. After all, you were brought here by me. I have to take responsibility for this. Except for the 5th basement level, which is a completely restricted area. Anyone can enter the 1st basement level. There shouldn't be any problem letting him enter early. But even so, Jin Lijun is still worried about the upcoming year. Because in our class besides Jin Zhuhe, there are 3 descendants of the 5 great families. Even just managing them would probably be enough to keep me busy. Hearing this, the dean also felt sympathetic. So he told him some news. There's an exchange student from the Bentrick family in the adjacent class. This shocked Jin Lijun greatly. He asked if it was Lodiel who was expelled from a private academy in country Y. Upon hearing it was him, Jin Lijun couldn't help but breathe a sigh of relief. I feel my current situation is better than the adjacent class. I feel much better. The next morning, I arrived at the classroom. I was still very angry about what happened yesterday. I couldn't help but sigh. This body is really quite weak. Let alone practicing martial arts. I have almost no magic power. I haven't accomplished anything. Moreover, I can barely control the little magic power I have. But this problem can be solved if I can find him. However, to achieve this, I need to be able to control at least a little magic power. Just as I was thinking this, someone actually approached me, but I looked confused, not knowing who this guy in front of me was. But this made him very unhappy, thinking I was an ill-mannered fellow. He didn't even know he was from the Bentrick family. However, he didn't show it. Instead, he got straight to the point, asking if I wanted to gain power. As for why Lodiel did this, it has to start with his identity. In most families, compared to direct descendants, collateral relatives are in a position where they can hardly grasp wealth and power. However, the Bentrick family, which guards the holy seat with a bird's beak mask, is different. Guardian families of S rank or higher holy seats are directly selected based on the strict standards of the holy seat itself, and are granted protection and power. The Bentrick family does not have the holy seat make the selection. Instead, family members directly select and sign contracts with individuals. They will sign contracts with the selected individuals without any objection, granting them protection. Because of this special method, the Bentrick family holds great power on the continent. As long as they are a member of the Bentrick family, whether direct or collateral, they can select a contractor. This leads to collateral relatives having power comparable to direct relatives. Lodiel relied on his family's authority to act recklessly on the continent. But just recently, he caused a disturbance in country Y, losing the trust of his direct relatives, and being expelled from the family. But despite this, he still didn't give up. He actually obtained what he wanted with this action. Even though he was expelled from the family now, he still achieved his goals. Beneficial results. Then I can repurchase the family again, and most importantly, achieve results that satisfy that person. So he prepared to invite Jin Zhuhe, who ranked first in the ceremony, to be his subordinate. And the condition he offered is to bestow the blessing of the holy seat of Bentalike. But facing Loder's kind persuasion, I directly spewed trash talk, telling him to get lost quickly. This made the other party's face turn dark immediately, asking me what I just said, if I had the guts to say it again. Don't you see? From the beginning I put on an uninterested look, but you kept chattering in my ear. It's so annoying, and you have no discernment. Can't you even see that I don't want to talk to you? Hearing these words, Lodier gritted his teeth in anger, calling me an ill-bred fellow. Just as the conflict between the two was about to erupt, a voice came from behind, telling Lodier to return to his class. This made him very unhappy. He didn't expect anyone would dare to order him around, but the newcomer was not flustered at all, stating that this is not Y Country Academy, but Valhalla. Even if you come from the great Bentalike family, you still have to obey the instructor's orders here. Seeing that the newcomer was combat instructor Li Shang's, he had no choice but to return to his class first. But before leaving, he still left me with a threat, telling me to wait and see, but I didn't take it to heart, wanting to know when I can enter the holy seat. Students are always proposing to join the family for me, which annoys me to death. And every afternoon after school, Lu Ruyan always follows me, begging me to teach her swordsmanship. This makes my face darker than it can be, asking if she wants to be scolded again. Meanwhile, on the other side, in the Gaoji dormitory of Valhalla, punched the side. He really didn't expect that I would dare to speak to him like this. He's really asking for a beating. So he asked Yulia beside him to call Desera, saying there's someone who needs to be dealt with. But the other party hasn't responded yet. This made him unhappy, grabbed Yulia's hair. Don't you know you have to reply? You probably think you are the eldest daughter of the Paris family. I am telling you, now with just one word from me, I can kick you out of our family immediately. Hearing this, Yulia's face turned pale. quickly said no. Only then, Lodier let go of the other party. Besides Desera, all the people from the Senrei family in the second year told him they, Bentalike has something they need to do, and I had no idea about all this. Still cultivating silently, but this body is really too trash. No matter how hard I try, I can't condense magic power. This made me sigh involuntarily, recalling what happened this afternoon. That Lu Ruyan, in order to learn swordsmanship, actually followed me all the way to my dormitory. This made me very unhappy, asking her what exactly she wanted, but he still said the same thing. He begged me to teach him swordsmanship, thinking of his persistent nature. I knew I had to find a reason to get rid of him. If it were me, I would have stated that the fee for each lesson was 10 million. Not a penny less. But what I didn't expect was, he actually took out his phone and prepared to transfer the money. The next second I received the notification of the transfer, and it was 100 million. Only then did he speak again, asking if he could teach me now. But I directly refused his transfer, saying I wouldn't pay, but his move still scared me. The most important thing is that if I really took him as a disciple, I couldn't be perfunctory, otherwise how could I have asked for such a sky-high price? But the money issue wasn't important. After all, as long as I found him, everything would be easily resolved. I got ready, and prepared to go find the secret vault now. And before I came to this school, I had already confirmed, most of the secret vaults hidden before the new year had disappeared. According to my investigation, there should be 4 secret vaults. Among them there are 3 with a high probability of existence. The secret vault with the highest possibility among these 3 is located in the mountains in the Valhalla area. As for the location of the secret vault, I can find it by using the spirit beads that react to my magic. This kind of small matter can be sensed with a small amount of magic. It didn't take long. I found the location of the secret vault, so I took out the shovel from behind me and prepared to dig it open. But what gave me a headache was, this body is too weak. Even digging soil is so strenuous. If I had known this would be the result, I should have built it in a shallow place. If it weren't for the appearance of the Tower of Annihilation, which messed up the world, I wouldn't have built this thing. But this also made me very worried, afraid that the things inside were no longer there. But fortunately, this secret vault was not discovered by anyone. It was just hidden quite deep. Then I started to feel around on the ground, trying to find the keyhole. As for how to open it, it's very simple. Just knead the magic into a ball of thread, and finally shape it into a key. This way it will be fine. After opening the door of the secret vault, I jumped directly inside, and on the ground here, there was shining gold everywhere. The amount was simply terrifying. But these things were not my goal. The most important thing was to find him. So I found those purple stones among the gold coins. And those were the storage stones I needed. Before to maintain the secret vault, I stored my magic here. I didn't expect it to be useful one day. The moment I picked up the tower, there was a constant surge of magic from within. This effect made me very satisfied. Praise myself for making a wise decision before. Still, I should take the remaining storage stones first. As for the heavy gold bars, I'll leave them for now. Just take some lighter gems. Back to the classroom. Back to the classroom. I lay on the chair exhausted. My whole body ached constantly. This also made me determined. If I ever build a secret vault in a deep place again, I am a lunatic. But just then, Lu Ruyan suddenly leaned in front of me, begging me to teach her swordsmanship. Are you sure you won't get tired? I've heard that 1,000 times. According to the information I found after rebirth, among the 5 great families, the Lu family to which Yan belonged was a renowned sword-wielding family. But why was she still pestering me to teach her? Why not learn more from her family? But Lu Ruyan said she would only learn from me. I've never met anyone as skilled as you. Hearing this, I instinctively asked, isn't your father the patriarch of the Lu family? He should be better at using a saber than me, right? Just as he was about to answer, the homeroom teacher suddenly walked in, calling me to his office. This surprised me greatly. I didn't know why the homeroom teacher was calling me to the office. Could it be that he found out about me digging up the mountain in the middle of the night? It's about what you asked me last time. Don't you want to hear about it? Hearing this, I quickly stood up from my seat. Before leaving, I told Lu Ruyan, tomorrow morning at 6 a.m., meet me in the training room. She was shocked by my sudden change in attitude. She didn't reply for a long time. This made me instinctively think she was unwilling. But Lu Ruyan shook her head vigorously, saying she would definitely come tomorrow. Only then did I leave the classroom with satisfaction. And since class was about to start, the teacher prepared to briefly tell me, your request to enter the Holy Seat Chamber has been approved. But you can only go to the first basement level. Entry to the second basement level and below is prohibited. Although I was surprised by this, I still agreed. I just wonder when I can go in. If you want to, you can go tonight. My accommodating attitude made the instructor confused. He originally thought I would ask why I couldn't enter the second basement level. He didn't expect me to accept it so readily. But he didn't ask the question. He just told me to go back first. That night at 8 p.m., we arrived at the entrance of the Holy Seat Chamber. This place is known as Valhalla's treasure. The nearby security is even tighter than the main entrance. Because of its existence, Valhalla can be called one of the 3 great academies in the world. And not only is the security tight, but just looking at the outer wall you can tell, it is now surrounded by various magic arrays. Except for the entrance, all other areas are sealed tightly. This made me unable to help but ask a question. What would happen if I went to the second basement level? Would I become a criminal? You wouldn't become a criminal, but Valhalla would hold you accountable. You would be expelled from the academy. And before that, your mind would become deranged. The second basement level of the Holy Seat Chamber is filled with the Holy Seat's magic power. If you come into contact with that magic power, you will immediately lose your mind and become a lunatic. Hearing these words, I instantly understood. Entering the second floor would only be considered madness, and then expelled from the academy, not becoming a criminal. But this made the teacher very surprised. Why would I ask such a question before going in? Could it be that I really intend to enter the second basement level? He immediately thought it impossible. Someone with my grades entering Valhalla wouldn't do this. I should know that staying at the academy is more beneficial for me. But to be safe, he still reminded me, I only have 30 minutes. Don't go over time. I waved my hand at this, telling the teacher to rest assured. It'll be back soon. As soon as I stepped into the Holy Seats room, that semi-transparent window popped up before my eyes. So I sped up, preparing to head underground, but to my surprise, there wasn't a single room here. I clearly heard that from the first basement level were the rooms of the Holy Seats, but the results seemed different. Thinking this, I wanted to go further down to see. In a second, that semi-transparent window popped up again before my eyes. Transparent window, indicating that I have met the conditions, and am about to move to a room. When I opened my eyes again, I saw the final boss of the Tower of Annihilation, Balcha. This surprised me greatly. I didn't expect him to appear here. He greeted me familiarly. Should this be called a reunion after 300 years? But I punched him directly in the face, without giving him a chance to speak. Thinking that my enjoyment plan was ruined by him, I was furious. Balcha could only take the beating and persuade me to first see where I was. It was only then that I stopped what I was doing and looked around, discovering that there was nothing here. And Balcha said that this was the world of imagination. To be precise, it should be the internal space of the holy relic. What you see now is just the physical body manifested by the world of imagination. The real body disappeared 300 years ago. These words surprised me greatly. I didn't know what this meant. If that's the case, wasn't I inside this holy relic from the beginning? Just as you guessed, I became a holy seed. No longer the final boss of the Tower of Annihilation, but I became even angrier. Couldn't help but punch him again. Only after calming down, did I state the purpose of my visit. Is the semi-transparent window you're doing? But Balcha said he didn't know either. After I defeated you, I've been staying here, and I also received that notification window. It prompted me to contact the reborn Golden Xuanwu and regain my memories. But because of your arrival, I remembered a suspicious person. It was done by that person, the master of the Tower of Annihilation. It was probably done by the person who turned me into the master of the Tower of Annihilation. If that's the case, who is that person? I don't know his true identity either. I don't remember this part of my memory. This is probably also the work of the beautiful foot. On the contrary, what did your notification window say? Is there anything strange? He told me to find the weapon in memories. As for the content below, it was blocked by a square. Unable to read, but what confused me was, I feel like I haven't forgotten my memories. I remember everything in the answer for sure. Perhaps the memories haven't fully recovered yet. Since the weapon has been found, I will naturally remember. Isn't this your mental space? How could I find the weapon? Your weapon, the spring sword, has become a holy relic. This space was its internal space from the beginning. It became the holy seat by treating this village sword as a holy relic. But hearing these words, I was furious. I couldn't help but want to teach him a lesson again. After dawn, I still left the house of the holy seat within the time specified by the homeroom teacher, and on the way back, I was still thinking about everything that happened today. My spring sword became a holy relic. The one inside is Balch, the king slayer, who became the holy seat. What kind of messy situation is this? I want to destroy all the weapons and stuff immediately. After all, I feel angry whenever I see that guy. Although my strength has weakened, Balch was also a kingslayer in the past. I am still a little worried about releasing it. And a new icon appeared on the notification window. It requires the spring sword to complete. There's nothing I can do about it, but there's still something that makes me curious. Does the spring sword as a holy relic have a storage function? Just as I thought this, a voice came from behind. Are you Kim Ju-hyuk, the first place in the entrance ceremony? Come closer. A blonde guy led a large group of people slowly towards me. Their eyes were all unfriendly. The leader was even more arrogant. Senior is standing in front of you. Don't you know you should be respectful? But I sneered at this. Are you a senior or a thug? Don't you know in your heart? You really dare to speak. As the first place in the first year, you should have come to pay homage to your seniors long ago. He told Relly next to him to teach this guy a lesson. Just don't be too harsh. And he wanted to say something at first when he heard this. But I directly kicked him in the stomach, forcibly interrupting the spell, because I hate people who talk nonsense the most. It's better to start early and finish early. This way I can go back to sleep sooner. The group of people saw that I just kicked lightly, and sent Relly flying out. They were instantly stunned. The blonde leader reacted in time. He turned back to look at me, but at this moment I already had a sword in my hand. That was my holy relic, the spring sword. This surprised them greatly. He didn't have any weapons on him just now. How did a sword suddenly appear? But I felt this wonderful feeling again. It made me excited. I advised them to hurry up and make a move. Otherwise it'll smash your heads. And 3 hours ago, the blonde guy came to Rodiel's Gaoji dormitory. But the other party asked him to do something. That is to teach a first-year student a lesson. This should be doable, right? Don't worry about the reward. I won't let you do it for nothing. At least it will compensate the Senrei family. At the very least it will compensate the Maurice family. And he didn't care about that at all. Even the first place in the first year. He was just a freshman. Absolutely cannot become an opponent for a second-year student. First-year and second-year students are not on the same level at all. Because they have already signed a contract with the Holy Seat. Or you could put it another way. Only students who become contractors can be promoted to the second year. When the first year enters the second semester, enter the Holy Seat's chamber and sign a contract with one of the Holy Seats. And after becoming a contractor, you can borrow the power of the Holy Seat. Jin Zhuhe, who has no background, did not sign a contract with the guardian Holy Seat of other families. Dealing with him is a piece of cake. This is clearly a reward offered on a silver platter. But the development of the matter far exceeded his imagination. The first-rank Jin Zhuhe is actually terrifyingly strong. It only took a few minutes. Those who came up were already beaten away by a large half. And his weapon hasn't been sharpened yet. This means the opponent wasn't serious at all. In his common sense this is impossible, whether they are contractors or not. In terms of weapon and magic proficiency, the first year cannot compare to the second year. Why can't they withstand my attack? And they all lost consciousness with one move. What's going on with his strange swordsmanship? He's just swinging it around and walking forward. The people around seem to be willingly walking into his attacks. And I looked at the remaining people at this time, saying I just said, those who don't make a move will have their heads smashed by me. Didn't you hear me? But the leader, the blonde guy, knew very well. Seeing their companions being defeated, they were probably thinking about whether to run away. So he stepped forward voluntarily, telling everyone not to be afraid. He's just a first-year student. I couldn't help but praise him a few words when I saw this. As expected of a gangster's son, he does have some leader's demeanor. However, these words made him so angry that he broke down on the spot. He directly drew his weapon, but he wasn't arrogant for 3 seconds. He had already put Chunyu against his stomach. Don't get me wrong, I didn't say I would let you hit me obediently. As I injected magic into Chunyu, he directly sent the opponent flying. And what the blonde guy was thinking was, when did he get so close to me? But even though the blonde guy had fallen unconscious, I still didn't stop. I came in front of him and squatted down, and slapped him awake. You haven't answered my question yet. Don't think you can end this so easily. So I advise you to confess truthfully. Who are you guys? Why are you gathered here to cause trouble for me? Didn't you hear me just now? We are seniors 1 year older than you. Meaning a few seniors brought a bunch of weapons to deal with a junior from the first year. This is common in Valhalla. Don't think I don't know someone is instigating you behind the scenes. It's really not what you think. We just want to teach the first place student of the first year a lesson. Are you playing gangster loyalty with me? If that's the case, I am almost moved to tears. But I am not interested in playing this game with you. I have to go back to sleep. I'll leave the rest to you. But the blonde guy said that you did this. Do you think you can live a peaceful school life? Even the first place in the first year. If this gets out, you'll be expelled too. I scratched my ear impatiently. Whatever happens, happens. The result should only appear after you release the news, right? A second-year student dealing with a first-year junior. Instead, they were all beaten down. If this news gets out, will you still have the face to go to school? So I advise you to think carefully. If you still want to go to school peacefully in the future and join the alliance, it's best not to do that. After saying that, I left here directly. Lodol, watching the time approaching 9:30, couldn't contain his excitement, because the call was coming soon. And things unfolded as expected. Rayleigh's call came quickly, but the first sentence he spoke shocked him. He said he was withdrawing from this matter. He didn't understand why the other party suddenly made such a decision. He hurriedly asked for the reason, but the other party firmly stated, from now on I won't interfere with anything related to Kim Joo-hyuk. This left Lodol stunned. After all, when he spoke to him last time, he seemed very confident. Seeing that Rayleigh was about to hang up, he asked the other party to wait a moment. If you are doing this because you were beaten by Kim Joo-hyuk, you can report it to the Academic Affairs Office. It's even better if you were injured. This will be evidence that he laid hands on you. As long as this is done, I will reward you as promised before. And I will contact my family to provide you with assistance. Even if the Bentley family helps me, our family's lost honor cannot be recovered. After saying that, he hung up the phone directly. This made Lodol tremble with anger. He cursed Rayleigh as a loser, unable to handle even such a small matter. However, he quickly calmed down. He asked Yulia beside him if she had contacted Daisera. Young master, I told him everything you asked me to say, but he is quite far from us now, and it will take some time to get here. But Lodol was anxious. He asked Yulia to inquire with him immediately about his current location. Meanwhile, in Country M, Daisera was looking at his phone speechlessly. He hadn't expected the other party to make such a request. However, upon hearing that the reward was generous, he revealed a sly smile and immediately accepted the commission. At 6 o'clock the next morning, I arrived at the physical training room on time. But this spacious room still surprised me a little. Just then, a voice sounded in my ear. Why are you here? This made me instinctively look around, thinking that Balcha had secretly escaped. Only when I learned that he was still inside the village sword did I relax again. However, I was still very curious. Is that really okay? After all, the village sword has been kept by Valhalla since it became a holy relic. But I took it out of the house of the holy seat. You don't need to worry about that. The copy function copied a village sword and placed it inside. But I am very curious about the function of the. I am not very clear about this either. After I woke up, all my powers were gone. Copy and storage could be used from the beginning. This made me speechless. There's a lot you don't know. And as I loosened my body, I noticed Lu Ruyan, who had just entered the training room. So I greeted him with a smile. But he got straight to the point. He asked if I could start sword training now. Not yet. We have to start with physical training. Hearing this, Lu Ruyan looked confused, curious about the reason, but I was too lazy to explain to him. After all, it's a bit troublesome to explain. Training physical strength can indeed absorb magic power well, and it will also make control easier. It's just that the modern trend is a bit strange. Without even training their physical strength well, they want to focus on practicing magic power. Lu Ruyan is also in this situation. Although his magic power is abundant, his physical strength is only at the level of a student who can use a sword. Only after Lu Ruyan finished warming up did I start to announce the upcoming training plan. First it was an hour of plank, then 2.5 hours of horse stance, and finally 1000 dumbbell flies to finish. By the time Lu Ruyan finished all of this, she was so exhausted that she collapsed on the ground, unable to even say a word. But I was relaxed, thinking that it finally felt like exercising. I asked Lu Ruyan to stand up again. Next there was a 20 kilometers full speed run. Hearing this, Lu Ruyan was shocked. She thought the amount of exercise on the first day was so astonishing. When it was time for class in the afternoon, her whole body ached and she couldn't help but tremble. But I was completely different from her, still looking at ease. I even felt that today's training intensity was not high enough. Today's afternoon class was taught by Lilith, the senior instructor of dungeon science. To understand our general level, she decided to give a small test. As for this, it was explained to everyone on the first day of enrollment. Everyone was asked to preview the strategies for dungeon monsters in advance. It's a test of your mastery of monster strategies. Saying this, she took out a large stack of test papers and distributed them to each student. This made Lu Ruyan's face even more grim. After all, since the start of the semester, she hadn't read any strategies for dungeon monsters. I quickly finished the entire test paper. Some of the questions on it, in my opinion, were simply a piece of cake. As the class bell rang, she asked the students to hand in their test papers from back to front. The scores of today's test will not be included in the total score. They will be used as reference material for your strength in the next class. After all the test papers were collected, she announced that we would go to the virtual combat experience room next class. After saying this, she left the classroom directly. Only then did a familiar voice ring in my ears. Are you sure your answers are written like that? This surprised me greatly. I didn't expect him to be able to see even this. And he seemed to hear my thoughts, and actually answered my doubts. However, to be precise, I can only hear what you want me to hear, but I was very casual about it. As for that test paper, I just answered based on what I knew. But when the teacher saw my test paper, she was so angry that she couldn't help but tremble all over. She kept rubbing the test paper in her hand. Zichi, why did you dare to write such an answer? And not long ago, Jin Jun in the office saw Li Lia still grading test papers. So he couldn't help but ask her, are you grading our students' test papers now? Before the virtual combat training class, let students preview how to deal with monsters. So to test their level, I prepared a small test. But I have to say, as expected of class A where noble families gather, the students' grades are all very good. Hearing this, Jin Jun felt very awkward. He didn't know if she was being sarcastic, as he was about to take a sip of coffee to relax. A voice next to him startled him so much that he spat it out. Jin Zhuhe actually dared to write such an answer. This made him look at Li Lia with confusion. Didn't you just praise the students' grades as very good? Why are you so angry now? Seeing this, he had no choice but to ask her, did Jin Zhuhe write it perfunctorily? This is not perfunctory. This is blasphemy against me. The more Leah looked at the test paper, the angrier she became. She felt that this matter could not be let go. Next time in class, I will use this test paper to educate him properly. He must be made to realize deeply that dealing with labyrinth monsters cannot be taken lightly. Time flies by. It was soon Leah's next class. She started by saying that she had already graded the last small test. Most people's answers were fine. Only a few were exceptions. Saying this, she called out my name and asked me to come to the podium. At first I subconsciously thought I had written too well, and the teacher wanted to praise me in public. But Leah handed a test paper to me and told me to look at it carefully. You are the only one with a score of 0 in Class A. Did you really take this exam seriously? When it comes to goblins. But I was confused. I didn't know what was wrong with my answer. The first question is, what is the most effective way to deal with stone goblins? And what was your answer? Stab them in the gut. Isn't this the right way to do it? After hearing this answer, the teacher couldn't help but pat her head. Then she asked her second question. When you are in a linear labyrinth, How should you respond? When you encounter 8 jungle goblins rapidly approaching you, how should you respond? This question is also very simple. Just stab the monsters running towards you. Send them to hell. The teacher was speechless. If you could have written something related to strategy when writing your answers, I might have let you off. You say the most effective way to deal with stone goblins is to stab them. Do you know their magic resistance is B+? Ordinary swords and knives are useless. If you still want to kill them this way. But I took it for granted, and said I could handle it in one move. This made the teacher furious. Showing off in front of others also has its limits. You're saying impossible things. Jin Zhuhe, you are so confident in your answers. Then he'll give you a chance. Saying this, she activated the combat simulation. The surrounding environment began to change rapidly. A stone goblin appeared behind the teacher. A stone goblin appeared behind the master. Begged me to solve monsters according to the answers on the test paper. Only in this way can she give me a score. I helplessly scratched my head. I didn't expect it to be so troublesome, but I still put the test paper on the table. Let the teacher prepare to rescore me. As I said, I came to the side, casually picked up an iron sword. I slowly walked towards the stone goblin, although I appeared very confident. It is said that Jin Zhuhe personally defeated 100 goblins, but she still thought I couldn't do it. Stone goblins cannot be solved with ordinary swords, and I quickly broke this doubt. I saw my right hand gently charge up the stone goblin in front of me. This blow directly pierced its chest. Soon it let out a scream. Its body turned into an afterimage and slowly began to dissipate. The teacher was shocked and opened her mouth wide. I didn't expect that I actually did it. I turned back to look at him. Stab him in the belly. Is this answer okay? But the teacher was very curious. Wanted to know how I did it. This question made me a little slow to react. Didn't you just see it? Stab the stone goblin in the belly. The battle is over. Although what I said was indeed correct. But the teacher really wanted to refute. If you want to kill a stone goblin with a sword, without the magic of an A-rank contractor or higher, the attack is impossible to work. So under normal circumstances, it can only be solved by striking skills. But he just simply stabbed it with a sword. The battle actually ended. This made her very interested, eager to start the next question. As the button was pressed again, the surrounding environment began to change. I was very curious, wanted to know what this is. A straight maze appeared before my eyes, but I was a little slow to react. Couldn't help but ask the teacher beside me, what should I do next? I advise you to pay attention to what's ahead, otherwise this test might be lost. Until this time, I noticed a few goblins slowly walking towards me. These are the jungle goblins from the textbook. They can be called goblins with intermittent explosive disorder. They are very troublesome to deal with. If you act rashly, the jungle goblins in front will roar. Other jungle goblins in the maze will immediately come out to surround and attack. The solution is to use the holy seed of magic. Help. Solve them all at once. Or don't solve them, and choose to escape, although there are only 3 visible jungle goblins. But once they are angered, 5 goblins will come to attack together. No matter how good your sword is, you can't kill 3 at once. And I heard that his sword speed is not fast. As soon as these words were spoken, I attacked one of the goblins with lightning speed. The goblin beside him was so scared that he broke out in a cold sweat. He didn't dare to charge forward, and I took the initiative to go in front of him. The sword pierced his head. In just a moment, all 8 goblins in the maze were dealt with by me. Seeing this, I turned back to look at the teacher again. Is this considered answering the second question correctly now? After the combat simulation class ended, I came to the training room and started today's training. Meanwhile, Lu Ruyan on the side seemed to be struggling. She looked like she was about to faint at any moment. Seeing this, I had no choice but to stop the treadmill and looked at her speechlessly. Don't you train in your family at all? How can you not handle such a little exercise? Under normal circumstances, we don't conduct training of this intensity. This surprised me greatly. If that's the case, then how do you deal with monsters? Use magic. Accept the power of the holy seat to deal with them, can't you? As I guessed, people prefer to improve their magic power, rather than train their physical strength. It's all because of the existence of the holy seat. Modern people don't even need to train their physical strength. As long as they train properly, they can use the power of the holy seat to solve everything. But doing so is actually very risky. A moment's carelessness could cost you your life. For example, in labyrinths or dungeons. What if there are spells that prevent magic from being cast? What if you fight for days and nights inside, and your magic runs out? Or what if those holy seats are unwilling to lend their power? What should we do then? After hearing this, I couldn't help but ask Lu Ruyan, do you think this physical training is meaningful to you? But after hearing my question, she stood up directly and said she was interested. Because you said, you would only teach me swordsmanship if I trained my physical strength? This made me speechless. I couldn't help but complain, what kind of answer is that? According to your logic, doesn't that mean I am only doing it because you asked me to? Hearing this, Lu Ruyan fell silent, and didn't know how to answer for a moment. But I said, "Wed, stop training for today. Class is about to start." Lu Ruyan looked confused. "Aren't you going?" "I still have to do another set of training. I need to complete today's exercise quota. Do you also want to stay and continue?" Seeing Lu Ruyan's reluctant expression, I knew the answer, so I waved goodbye to her, and told Lu Ruyan to go first. I'll be there later. After she left, Balcha couldn't help but ask, "Why am I helping him train? I can't help it, she kept pestering me to teach her swordsmanship. Have I ever demonstrated swordsmanship to Lu Ruyan alone? No, I haven't. She probably saw it during class. Then he really has talent. He saw through your strength just by watching you swing your sword a few times. I also find this point very magical, so I thought about teaching him something. As I was chatting with Balcha, I was attracted by a voice beside me. Wu Shihei, who was also about my height, had just finished his training for the day. He was panting from exhaustion. He seemed to have noticed my gaze as well, and couldn't help but look in my direction. This sparked a trace of curiosity in me. When did the other person start exercising there? He also wiped the sweat from his body and replied, I've been here since I started. Exercising before school is my habit. After saying this, he got up and prepared to leave. I also made a new evaluation of Wu Shihei in my heart. He was born with a martial bone. Thanks to this talent, he has been persistent in exercising. Just by looking at this, he is much smarter than those who only know how to increase their magic power. But speaking of which, what kind of guy is the holy seat? But Balcha did not know about this. Although he is also a holy seat, he has been holed up in this place for 300 years. Regarding this point, you will know when you complete the new objectives on the notification window. I opened that semi-transparent window, and the new mission at this time is to find the Eye of the Valhalla Great Forest, Magia's home. There is also a key point. You must have a village sword to meet the conditions. I heard the name of the place in class. It is the place where the duel was held at the end of the first semester. It is also because of this reason that I have been staying here honestly. But Balcha couldn't help but complain. Didn't you just fight a group of thugs a while ago? Didn't I let them go? Otherwise, they would have had their heads smashed like yours. Hearing this, Balcha immediately broke out in a cold sweat. After all, with his understanding of me, he also knew that what I said just now was serious. But no matter what, before completing the objective, I must stay in Valhalla. Only in this way can I find clues to rebirth. Meanwhile, in the Bentley house, the head of the family is listening to his subordinate's report. The labyrinth on the outskirts of Letting has been cleared. I have found several useful talents. I want to recruit them. It is the survivors of the Robert family who fell due to the labyrinth incident. The worst of them is an A-class contractor. If that's the case, it should be fine for them to accept Bentley's blessing. Or should they undergo another aptitude test? Then bring them to me. But seeing the butler's hesitant look, she knew that he had other things to report. It wasn't until the butler mentioned Loder's name that she couldn't help but frown. Did that guy make another mistake? No, that's not it. It's just that he wants to call Desera to Country B. When she heard this name, Adria felt a nameless rage. This Desera is a stain on the family. He is also the most shameless scoundrel. He has committed dozens of bad deeds in the name of the Bentley family. The most famous one is that he killed 5 contractors belonging to the Y Country Academy, under the pretext of provoking trouble. As a result, when he was 20 years old, he was expelled from the Bentley family. But because of the mistakes he made, the family had to keep a low profile for several years. Now it's good. Desera is going to meet Lodier. So she asked the butler to send someone to monitor him, to prevent him from doing anything that would harm the reputation of the Bentley family. Also tell Lodier that guy, if he is caught doing anything strange again, he will be truly expelled from the family. After giving instructions, she let the butler leave her room. But she was still very dissatisfied. Whether it's this guy or that guy, they are acting recklessly without their own strength. The family's power is not for these bugs. It is for me. As she said this, she couldn't help but look back at the holy seat behind her. He couldn't help but look back at the figure behind him, seemingly wanting to gain his approval. The photo on the wall did not change in the slightest. In this afternoon's class, if you want to analyze the villains for us, after entering modern society, the word villain is a contractor who commits crimes by borrowing the power of the Holy See. Most villains act individually. Some villains also operate in an organized manner. The most famous villain organization is the Believers. But I don't care about these at all. Just silently feel the changes in this body. After this period of continuous training, I can clearly feel myself getting stronger. And I also have a talent for controlling magic, even if it's not genius. Compared to my body before reincarnation, it's still very talented. That's why I feel so strange. No matter how much I don't train, it shouldn't have become this bad. What is the reason? When I ran the small heavenly cycle for the first time, because my magic power was much less than that of ordinary people, it was difficult to complete the cycle. As for stamina, it was also very weak. I only dug a few times. I almost collapsed on the ground from exhaustion. But the talent of this body shouldn't be that bad. Before I came to this body, what happened? But I gave up after only thinking for a moment. After all, thinking more won't give me an answer. It's better to take one step at a time. And at this moment, Ryusoken gave me a piece of paper. This surprised me greatly, curious about the content inside. But when I opened it, I found only 10 words feed. This made me speechless. I don't know what's going on. When the last class of the afternoon ended, the homeroom teacher said that students were allowed to go out this weekend. Students who go out should fill out an application form and submit it too. When I heard this, I had the idea of going out. As for the reason line, I only filled in going out for a walk. I don't know if it will work. But this made Balcha very confused, curious about where I wanted to go. Just as I was about to answer, someone called me from behind. Seeing that it was Ryusoken, I couldn't help but complain. Did I just send away a parrot that taught me swordsmanship? And now another parrot that says feed is here. But I didn't express this thought. Instead I asked him what he wanted. I just replied to the note you gave me. You didn't react, but this made Ryusoken fall silent. I don't know how to speak. Seeing that he was anxious, I urged him. I have something to submit. Time is very tight, I am going out for a walk. But even so, Ryusoken still seemed very hesitant. This made me tremble with anger. I don't know what he means. Why is he so hesitant to say anything? I couldn't help but curse him a couple of times. Tell me what you have to say quickly. After hearing me call him a lunatic, he was clearly a little angry. He questioned why I said that about him. Then you keep probing like this. It's very annoying. Is that normal? So what exactly do you want to say? After hearing me say this, Lu Suwon's anger subsided by more than half. But he still didn't know how to speak. What she wanted to ask me was how to deal with Brother Stone Goblin. But for some reason, I felt it was very humiliating. Just as he was ready to say it, Teacher Leah suddenly appeared in front of me, begging me to tell him how to deal with the Stone Goblin. This left the two people present speechless for a moment. I don't know where she came from. I was very surprised by this. Why is the teacher so enthusiastically looking for me? I thought you hated me. But he pointed to himself and asked if I was talking about her. Isn't it? I refuted you in front of everyone. You should feel very ashamed. You hate me, right? I don't care about these things. I always believed that the only way to solve the labyrinth monsters was. But you showed me a new world. So do you want to be my assistant? You can name your own price. But I directly refused the other party, indicating that I was going to submit an application for leave. Hearing this, Leah was very surprised. She kept pestering me. As long as you are my assistant, you can publish a paper on labyrinth physics that will shock the entire academic world. Looking at Lu Suyuan, who was left with an embarrassed face. 7. Only Lu Suyuan was left with an embarrassed face. Lu Suyuan with an embarrassed face was left alone. Seeing this, he could only comfort himself. There will be opportunities in the future. And when I returned to the dormitory, I started looking for information online, collecting information about tomorrow's destination in advance. First I went to sell the gems I took out of the secret vault. I searched for the fan family exchange online. There was a good place among them. That is the marketplace. According to the information I had previously learned, as long as you pay a certain fee, you can conduct various transactions without restriction. The security is quite high. It is an offline marketplace open globally. It is very convenient to use. This leads to many villains frequenting this place. This makes it an illegal facility. Why can a marketplace like F operate to this day? Plus, because the guy who established the marketplace is called the guardian seat of the insider ruler. So high-ranking officials in politics also frequent there. Even if the marketplace is illegal, they were not quickly arrested, being able to find a way to enter so easily. Thanks to this post comments 82. What I didn't expect was, the comments actually contained website information. And just as I was about to click on it to see, Lu Ruyan sent me a message. Year 08, 2 only when I responded to the other party. She stopped sending emojis. After learning that he couldn't go to training tomorrow, I seemed very calm. After all, I also have to go out tomorrow. So I congratulated Lu Ruyan on his package, telling him to rest well. Then I returned to the forum and clicked on the website I had just found. The next morning, following the coordinates above, I arrived at a dilapidated coffee shop. According to the information above, after entering this shop, then go in through a small door in the corner. If I am not mistaken, it should be there. As I said, I pushed open the door, and the scene inside was completely different from the outside. It was like a world of its own. What confused me the most was, I had never been to this neighborhood before, yet I felt a strange sense of familiarity, especially the purple sky and the dim moon. They were so similar to the night view I saw 300 years ago. Just as I was thinking this, someone approached me and spoke. Is this your first time here? Seeing his leather jacket and his signature smile, I remembered the warning in the post. He was a staff member of this market. So I simply replied, and he immediately asked me, haven't you learned about how to use the market in advance? Seeing this, I took out a stack of bills and asked if this was it. In my heart, I was silently calculating that after spending this money, the scholarship for first place in the entrance exam would be used up. I would only have about 30,000 yuan left, but it's okay, I can make money by completing transactions here. After the other party took the money, he asked if there was anything else I wanted to know. He could tell me for free. I did have questions. If I wanted to sell some of the gems I had, where would be a good place to go? Are you looking to trade through auction? Let's forget about that. I want to trade as soon as possible. If that's the case, you can go to the third area next to the auction house. There's a group of merchants gathered there. They don't care if the items you have are dirty. They trade everything from gems to weapons. Who is the most trustworthy among them? If it's gold or gems, a person named Morris will give you a fair price. If you don't know how to get to the third area, just go straight ahead and you'll see a 5-street intersection. Take the middle path and you'll reach your destination. Before starting the transaction, I recommend you wear a mask. It's a blessing to trade items whose origin cannot be determined. Most people hide their true identities to prevent accidents, and the mask you have in your hand is a small gift from me. After saying thank you, I walked towards the third area. I found the person the staff member mentioned, Morris. I told him I wanted to trade some items on the spot. He briefly explained to me that it would vary depending on the item. For precious metals or gems, I can process them for you quickly. After hearing this, I took out a bag from my backpack and said I wanted to sell all these items. When he saw that the item inside was a ring, his interest waned considerably, but he still examined it with a magnifying glass, wanting to see how the gem on it was. To his surprise, he opened his mouth wide in shock. Judging by the magic emanating from it, this was a relic from the era of extinction. He couldn't help but look at the other rings in the bag, wondering if they were all like this. And as expected, all the rings emitted magic of the same color. This was undoubtedly a relic from the same era. At this point I spoke up, asking for his appraisal. Morris coughed lightly at the remark, and hesitated for a moment, unsure of how to price it. He had no idea where I found these relics, and judging by my voice I am at most 20 years old. So he couldn't resist his innate curiosity, and asked that question, "Where did you get these things?" But I looked at him with confusion. I heard that they don't ask about the origin of items here. Did I misunderstand? Hearing this, Morris quickly confirmed, "You are correct, it was my mistake." He cursed himself 100 times in his heart, almost blinded by these relics, and asked a question he should NT have. If that were the case, my reputation as a market merchant built up over the years would be damaged. So he decided to tell me the truth. "I don't have enough money to buy these things from you, because they are all relics from the era of destruction. The value of each ring is astronomical. If that's the case, where can I sell them for a good price?" "You can try the auction house. That tower is the most authoritative place here." "If I were to sell them at auction, how long would it take?" "It usually takes 2 or 3 weeks. After all, there are many people waiting for reservations. It will take some time before it's your turn. So after 2 to 3 weeks, do I still need to come to the market in person?" "Of course you do. You need to come to collect the auction proceeds." Hearing these tedious steps, I couldn't help but curse. What a hassle. "You just said you couldn't buy these things. Tell me, how much can these things sell for in total?" This made Morris slightly stunned, not understanding what I meant. But he still did some simple calculations, and told me the approximate price. But this shocked me greatly. I didn't expect these things to be so valuable. The small dots behind them are too numerous to count. In the beginning I only selected the more precious items from my era. "If that's the case, how much cash is your store short?" "No matter where I sell them, they are all within my estimated amount. But the bidding price at the auction house is different. Even if I add up all the available cash in my hand, it's only half of the estimated value. Then he'll sell them to you at this price." But this shocked Morris greatly. He couldn't understand why I would do this. The reason why relics from that era are traded at high prices is not only because they are relics from ancient times, but there is another more important reason: the existence of the Holy Seat. After the era of destruction, the Holy Seats appeared one after another. For some reason, people react very strongly to relics from that period. Ordinary people can sign contracts with S-class Holy Seats, using relics from the era of destruction. An ordinary person named Alchemist is still active in the world as a contractor. Thinking of this, he couldn't help but check them over again. But just the magical traces on them could tell that they were relics from that era, because the magical traces are the magic wavelength that erupted at the end of the era of destruction simultaneously with its demise. Any relic from that era carries these magical traces. Today there are 8 relics from that era in front of me, and I can buy them at such a cheap price. This is simply a stroke of luck. Just as Morris thought this, a person suddenly appeared in front of him. When he saw the mask on the person's face, couldn't help but break out in a cold sweat. Meanwhile, on the other side, I had already left the market with my mask on, and the first thing I did was to take off the mask on my head. After all, it was a bit inconvenient to wear it. Debit card, but no matter what, 4,500. Debit card sold those gems minus 4,500 yuan. Finally, the money problem was solved. 500 yuan. The final result also surprised me. I didn't expect that the 8 rings taken out from the secret vault could actually earn so much money. Even if I spend all my money in the future, there will be countless antiques in the secret vault. I'll just take them out and sell them then. But at this moment, my phone received a call from an unknown number. This surprised me greatly, but I still chose to answer the call, and asked who it was. Then a loud voice came from the phone, asking what I was doing now, and if I wanted to come and eat together. Recognizing that it was Teacher Lilia, I couldn't help but feel a hint of curiosity. I wanted to know how she knew my number, but she didn't answer, telling me to come to the room next to the Valhalla physical training room. "I'll treat you to a meal," and then hung up the phone. This left me speechless, but since there was a free lunch, I might as well cooperate a little. Seeing that the person who came was Black Cat, he became particularly nervous, not knowing why the other party was looking for him. But this made him very dissatisfied, and he couldn't help but ask Morris, "Is our relationship that awkward? Although we've met a few times, I am just a merchant. Of course I can't easily talk to the market owner. So what is the matter? You are looking for me for this time?" "It's nothing really. I saw that you applied for an anonymous auction after a long time, and I became interested." This made Morris speechless. What anonymous auction? Privacy cannot be guaranteed at all. I can't help it regarding this, because the actual owner of the market is not me, but my holy seat. Whatever he wants to know, he will find out through any means. Let's not worry about this for now. Can I see the goods you applied for auction? Seeing this, he had no choice but to take out the bag from before. But he was very confused, After all, when the relics of the era of extinction were auctioned before, Black Cat did not show any curiosity, but the first time he saw those rings, he concluded that these items could be sold at a high price. His holy seat, the inner ruler, showed a surprised expression, saying that he really wanted to own the rings in front of him. This message instantly flooded the entire screen. Meanwhile, on the other side, I arrived at the internal restaurant of Valhalla, and had a meal with teacher Lilia. During this process, she brought up the previous invitation again, asking me to be her assistant, but I directly refused her, but she still wouldn't give up, asking me to think carefully before answering. There are many benefits to being her assistant, and when you came to meet me, you probably guessed what I wanted to say, so let me tell you more. If that's the case, then tell me what the benefits are. Not only will you have a huge scholarship, but you'll also have the opportunity to write a thesis with me. If you can write a new era of monster combat strategies, the Monster Research Association will also proactively list you as a member. Naturally, you'll accumulate wealth and honor in the future, but I still feel unsatisfied. Let him continue. If you really agree to be my assistant, your current one-day-a-week outing opportunity can be increased to twice a week. Is there anything else? If that's all, I won't agree. Hua Jing's immediate priority is to go to the place indicated on the notice. You can only enter there during the first year. Strength assessment. Although she is an instructor, she doesn't have the right to let me in. Then how about this? Well, exchange information. I'll give you information you're interested in, and you tell me the monster combat strategies. If that's the case, I should at least have a general idea of the information you're talking about. Otherwise, how would I know if I am interested? That doesn't matter. I am talking about Lu Ruyan. I heard she's been sticking close to you lately, but I directly refused her. After all, I am just teaching her how to train her stamina. There's no other relationship besides that. Fortunately, he still revealed this secret. He said that Lu Ruyan might be expelled from the family soon, but I am not interested in that at all. After dinner, I prepared to ride away. At this moment, Lilia quickly called out to me, but I was very confused. Dinner is over. The benefits you mentioned don't attract me either. Is there any point in keeping me around? I don't care about that. Since you've heard my information, you should give me some information you know. This made me speechless. Your information isn't what I wanted to hear either. You said it yourself. Seeing that the other party was persistent, I felt a hint of curiosity. Why would someone use such childish methods to pester me, and be so strict with students during class? I can't help it about that. I am the instructor responsible for teaching monster combat strategies. If I taught students like it was a joke, something serious would happen. After all, monster combat strategies directly relate to the students' survival rate. If I didn't do anything, the students wouldn't actively memorize the strategies. That's why I disciplined them strictly. After saying all this, you're just deliberately building a persona, aren't you? But Lilia was very displeased. She asked me not to say it so harshly. This is fulfilling the duty of an instructor. Then you are truly respectable. However, I am still not interested. Saying that, I waved goodbye to her, and prepared to leave, but he called out to me from behind. He said that I gave you information, and you haven't paid me the corresponding reward yet. Meanwhile, on the other side, Yan and his brother were kneeling before the patriarch. The reason they were summoned today is to ask for their thoughts before selecting the family heir. After all, those who pass this selection competition will have the opportunity to sign a contract with this sacred relic, the Azure Moonblade. It is also the token of the legitimate heir of the family. Also as a token of the legitimate heir of the family, but the one who was eliminated would be expelled from the family according to family tradition. Even so, do you still want to participate? And the two of them did not hesitate at all. They immediately expressed their choice to participate. If that's the case, then the selection competition will be held in 3 weeks. You can all leave. After the two left the master bedroom, Lu Songyang spoke first. Can't you tell, when you said you wanted to participate in the selection competition, your father's indifferent expression, he didn't think you would win at all. This made Lu Ruyan recall what had just happened, but he did not choose to reply. And Lu Songyang still refused to give up. Don't you want to sit and wait for death? Do you really want to get the position of family head? I advise you to give up. How dare you, an illegitimate daughter, still have wishful thinking? It's simply self-deception. Hearing these words, Lu Ruyan gritted her teeth, but he still didn't refute. Don't show that murderous expression. Do you think you can win against me in the selection competition by doing this? You only have the protection of the holy seat. I signed a general contract. You won't even touch a single hair of mine, since you gave up the life of sitting at home and squandering family assets everywhere. Let you have a good taste of what the price of giving up is. After saying these words, he left the courtyard directly, and Lu Ruyan was still in place, as if recalling past memories. Grandmother told him before she died that as she must become the family head, grandmother hoped that the other party would ascend to that position. Do what you like. This made Lu Ruyan completely determined. I must win the selection competition in 3 weeks. 3 days later, we ushered in the midterm exam of this semester. Erki couldn't help but take the initiative to speak to me, asking if I had confidence. This made me feel a little surprised. I didn't expect him to care about such things. He expressed helplessness about this. Of course I can hear everything. And your homeroom teacher is serious, explaining the content related to the midterm exam. Aren't you going to listen carefully? After all, in Valhalla, exams are very important. The school will expel students who are in the bottom of the midterm or final exam rankings. Hearing these words, I also felt a little embarrassed. If it's a skill exam, it should be fine. But I have no confidence in written exams. But before I went to the Great Forest, I must stay in this academy. I can't just muddle through. So I asked Valcha, did you listen carefully in class? After learning the result, I asked him to take the exam for me, as long as it's not the last place. But he fell into entanglement, thinking that doing so would be unfair to others. I advise you not to spread rumors. Just fill in the answers according to the Holy Seat's instructions. How can it be unfair? After this class ends, Lu Ruyan found me, asking if I could teach her swordsmanship today. Thinking that I have been teaching Lu Ruyan how to train her physical strength, I felt it was time to tell her. It's not time to tell you about swordsmanship or saber techniques yet. But I can correct your saber holding method first. After that, Lu Ruyan and I came to the training room together. Before starting the training, I first asked Lu Ruyan a question. That is, how long has it been since you last held a saber? He couldn't help but be slightly stunned by this. Since I started training your stamina, I haven't really held a saber. And before that, were you practicing saber swings every day? Lu Ruyan did not deny this. Since that's the case, then try drawing your saber. She also did as I instructed. But I saw the problem with her. Under normal circumstances, when you grip the saber tightly, the force should be applied to your ring finger and pinky. Hearing this, Lu Ruyan began to adjust. She wanted to try it my way. But when she actually held it like that, she felt that gripping it this way was more stable and powerful than using both hands. After adjusting her saber holding posture for her, I told her to attack me with all her might. It didn't matter if she used magic or other skills. She immediately did as I said. She assumed a Iijutsu stance. Instantly, arcs of electricity lit up around her, and she quickly drew her long saber, launching a thunderous attack at me. But I still precisely blocked it. However, I still praised her with a smile. Your speed has indeed improved significantly. When drawing your saber, don't inject too much magic. As I said this, I sent Lu Ruyan flying, and had her try again. This time her saber swing was noticeably faster than the last. Even the angle was very sharp. But I still easily dodged it, and taught her a saber swinging technique. That is when chopping downwards, you need to rotate your body to put more force into it. Although this strike didn't disarm Lu Ruyan, her right hand still felt a tingling sensation. But I told her not to stop, and to keep attacking me without interruption. Lu Ruyan immediately did as I said, and attacked me again. This continued for 2.5 hours. During this period, Lu Ruyan continuously adapted to the new posture. She could clearly feel that, after training with me, her strength had indeed improved by a large margin. Seeing that she was completely exhausted, I said, let's stop training for today. Lu Ruyan then collapsed onto the ground exhausted. But she still felt very dissatisfied. After all, during the training period, her saber never once touched me. But it made sense. I had asked her to take me as a disciple precisely because of her unrivaled swordsmanship. So she suddenly called out to me, asking if I could spar with her again next time. This, however, made me ponder. Sparring with Lu Ruyan was indeed beneficial for me. Although she was a bit silly, she had talent in this area. Teaching her also gave me a sense of accomplishment. But from the beginning of the entrance ceremony, I felt that her saber technique was a bit familiar. It felt like a saber technique I had seen before. Only the breathing method was different. Regardless, a familiar saber technique could help me regain my feeling. No matter what, a set of familiar sword techniques helped me regain my feeling. If it was 300 years ago, this kind of talent would be qualified to be my disciple. But I don't have time to take on disciples right now. Seeing that I hadn't replied at all, he couldn't help but speak, asking if I had made up my mind. This made me want to tease him. So I said I wouldn't spar with you next time. She just nodded in response to this. This left me speechless. I didn't expect him to give up so quickly. Because all your choices are correct. Actually, there was one more thing I didn't say. That is, as long as you listen to me, you will definitely become stronger in the future. Lu Ruyan's inexplicable trust made me feel very strange. But I didn't dwell on it. I just told her to go back and rest first. A week later, we ushered in the midterm exam. All first-year students came to the arena of Valhalla. Only then did the instructor begin to announce the content of this exam. That is to conquer the dungeon. You can form your own teams to enter. We believe that 8 people per group is the most appropriate. However, you can also add or subtract members as you wish. How to form a team is your freedom. The scoring standard will be based on your contribution when conquering the dungeon. There's one more thing I want to mention. If you don't complete the task within the specified time, your team will be disqualified. As for the dungeon difficulty, it's F+. As the exam began, everyone anxiously formed teams, afraid of being left behind. This reaction was within the instructor's expectations. Most students would panic. Lu Suwan's reaction made the instructor very satisfied. She clearly understood what the real content of this exam was. So there was no need to find someone better than herself. 8 people conquering an F+ difficulty dungeon in 1 hour. There was more than enough time. After all, the most important thing is the contribution. In this situation, a team of mediocre people conquering this mission could actually maximize the profit. The only regret is, this mission seems very simple. It's almost impossible to find a way to highlight one's strength. This move made Li Shang's very satisfied. as expected of a descendant of the 5 great families. He immediately found the key to this exam. As for the other students, they were clearly not as good. Some formed teams of 20 people. Others formed teams based on the standard of 8 people. Some teams even had conflicts among members due to unbalanced strength. Seeing this, Li Shangs told everyone to get ready. After 30 minutes, all students would enter the dungeon. When I wanted to go in alone, I saw Lu Ruyan beside me, so I couldn't help but step forward and strike up a conversation, asking her what she planned to do. But she didn't hesitate at all, saying, "I'll do whatever you tell me to do." This made me speechless. Ever since the sparring match last time, why is she listening to me about everything? You decide for yourself. Anyway, I am going in alone. After all, this dungeon is not difficult. Ruyan watched my retreating back and fell silent, wondering what she was thinking. Seeing that Lu Yan was still alone, the people around her started thinking about forming a team, wanting to invite her to join their team. Want to invite the other party to join your team. But Lu Yan directly refused the other party's invitation, saying that she wanted to go in alone. With that, she walked straight into the dungeon, completely ignoring the obstruction of her classmates behind her. At the same time, on the other side, several instructors on Yang's side came to the monitoring room, preparing to start scoring the students. Like those who were obviously scared, they were basically around 1 to 10 points, even only 1 or 2 points. Looking at Li Shangja fast scoring, Jin Lijun couldn't help but sigh, as expected of his teacher. Those who don't understand would think he was perfunctory in his scoring. But in fact, he not only scored quickly, but also without any error. When Li Shangja, the combat instructor, was a contractor, he was called the master of clearance by others. His dungeon clearance rate could reach 99.9. He was known as the legendary contractor. Everyone knew the key to passing the dungeon was where, so he could score so accurately and quickly. And after watching so many videos Ji Shangzhen, he had to admit, the overall level of the students this year was a bit too high. Especially the descendants of the 5 great families. They performed very well, almost no fault could be found. The student most worthy of attention was Lu Suyuan. His command was indeed unexpected. It could be called a classic strategy for passing the dungeon. The roles and tasks assigned to teammates were very clear, and he only did actions that could earn points. And he only assembled teammates of average level to form a team. It could guarantee dungeon clearance with 100% certainty. With her method of passing the midterm exam, it was only a matter of time before her grades returned to the upper ranks. It was only a matter of time. Thinking of this, she couldn't help but think of me. The reason why Hua Jingli Suwan's grades were so low was because she lost to me in the entrance competition, so he searched for my surveillance, wanting to see how I was doing. But to his surprise, the system actually showed no search results. This made him feel very strange. He didn't know why he couldn't find Jin Zhuhe's information. It couldn't be that he had already cleared the dungeon, could it? When he opened the list of midterm exam clearances, he found that I was ranked first. What shocked him the most was that I cleared it alone, and it only took less than half an hour. He left a deep impression on people in the entrance competition, but he was just a classmate. How could he clear it in such a short time? I need to confirm the surveillance video. In the video, I appeared unusually relaxed. I even had one hand in my pocket. When I faced the attacking goblin swarm, I basically solved them all with one strike. And all the monsters I encountered next, basically none of them took more than 2 strikes from me. Even the specially designed for the midterm exam simulation, the special stone statues, did not escape this fate. But when they designed them, they were designed according to the overall strength of an 8-person team. Designed specifically for. At this scene, Li Shanzhen couldn't help but sigh. It seems that the first place in this midterm exam should still be Jin Zhuhe. When all the exam results came out right, I took first place without any surprise. And it was with an overwhelming advantage. Li Shangja had already expected this, so there was not much surprise. If there was one shocking thing here, it was that he didn't expect someone could cleared the dungeon without a scratch. If he continues to grow at this rate, he will smoothly enter the hunter industry in the future. Our country has a great chance to regain the title it lost before. There was actually a dark horse in the exam, and that was Lu Ruyan. Kim Ju-hyuk's strength is great, and his clear time is short. He has nothing to say, but I didn't expect Lu Ruyan to surpass Ryu Suyin and take second place. He doesn't know what kind of stimulus he received, but like Kim Ju-hyuk, he challenged the dungeon alone. Although it took him longer, and he was injured quite a bit, he still cleared it in the end. Kim Ri-jun was also very surprised by this. He thought he was a man of few words, and that he would only train diligently. He never expected him to clear the dungeon alone. This exam was evaluated based on teamwork. Ryu Suyin's ranking would have been higher than it is now. But this time only the contribution to clearing was evaluated. That's why Kim Ju-hyuk and Lu Ruyan's scores are relatively high. Although this was the final exam result, you should not recommend the methods of those two to other students. This is not suitable for ordinary students to copy. On the way back, Ri-jun was still thinking about Lu Ruyan. When he was an executive in the Lu family, the Lu Ruyan he saw was a model student who only practiced swordsmanship. How did she think of challenging the dungeon alone? How did she think of challenging the dungeon alone? Could it be that she was influenced by Kim Ju-hyuk? But he felt something was wrong, which interrupted his thoughts. The next morning, the results of this midterm exam were announced. Seeing that Kim Ju-hyuk was still in first place, Rodiel gritted his teeth in anger. Then he turned to Yulia beside him and asked, "Is Desera in the country now?" After learning that it was the result, he said he wanted to see him immediately. "Contact him right away."